The Botcast. What was impossible is now possible. Don't resist it, embrace it. Okay, welcome back everybody to the Botcast. My name is Dr. Andrew Timms. I am one of the hosts of this show, but as I said always, the brains behind this operation is really Daniel Lyon. How are you going, buddy?
Good, thanks, Andrew. How you doing?
Awesome, fantastic. Ready for a great new episode. And today we're actually going to be talking about different types of bots. So probably specifically conversational versus information bots. There's been a few articles out there on the web about what performs better and one is better than the other one. But I suppose let's dive into the start, buddy. What's the difference between the two, and why would you want to go one or the other?
Yeah, well, look, I guess first up, what we've got to do is recognise that the problem with that question is the question itself is what's the difference between the two? And too many businesses or too many bot builders are creating bots that are purely informational only and missing the fact that the concept of the bot is to be able to interact with the customer. So therefore, every bot, whether it's delivering information or not, should be conversational. So it's more just trying to make it relatable so that it's more, more like that they're actually talking with someone rather than just using Google, where like you would type into Google a certain keyword and Google just spits back a list of websites that you can click through yourself.
Yep.
It's more that when you ask a bot is doing similar things, the bot is going to respond with information. But it's just a matter of making the customer feel like they're appreciated, that they're valued, and they're actually being listened to, even if it is just simply by the bot. So the conversational just makes it more user-friendly and more likely that they're going to be able to refer that to their friends or want to use it again in the future and not just say, can't I just have a human to talk to?
Yeah, definitely. Because it's like, because really what you want to try and get over with a bot is, you want people to have an interaction that is surprising, that is different to what they're used to, and like in anything from a marketing standpoint, exceeds people's expectations for them then wanting to share it with their friends.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so like you can sort of think about it from the conversational standpoint of, when we're communicating with someone, asking like open-ended questions or closed-ended questions. Right, like where
yes.
you ask if you have an informational bot, it's going to be more like a closed-ended question conversation, where with those ones you're only going to go so far. Where a conversational bot is more continually supplying open-ended questions, which is going to lead people further down the rabbit hole. Would you agree with that?
Correct. Yeah, definitely so. And I guess again it comes back to, like we discussed this in one of our earlier episodes, about the different styles of bots that you've got, whether or not you're utilizing your bot for selling e-commerce products, or whether you're utilizing it purely just to deliver customer service, where it's like an FAQ style bot, or whether it's actually doing the marketing for you, like what we discussed about in that Kate Perry one that she launched for her new album coming up. And so the conversational is going to be fairly different. And I think two mistakes people make is the both ends of the extreme, or that there's always a ditch on either side of the road, as they say. And so some people will have an FAQ style bot or a simple customer service that's merely there for customers to be able to get information about your product or service. And people try and make an entire long saga story out of it that the customer then is getting frustrated because they're saying, look, I really don't care about this big, long, dramatic episode. Sure, it's intriguing, but I just want to get my information and get out of here because that's what I came to this bot for. And then on the flip side, other people say, well, this is an information bot or whatever, and so we just won't put anything into it at all, and it's just, here's the question, here's the answer, done. So I think it's trying to blend the two, and like what you said, have it where the open-ended question or the closed-ended question is still going to have some element to conversation in it. For instance, that if someone comes along and asks, for a particular thing, and you've got a PDF guide or something like that within your bot that's going to supply the answer, someone could ask, do you have this, or what do you do in regards to this, or what's your solution with this? And the bot's AI might pick that up and deliver the information guide. So rather than have the person ask the question and the information guide then instantly being sent, now they've got a link to click on, and the person's going, well, I guess I'm supposed to click on this now and read it. That must have the answer in it. They're a bit confused. But if the bot had said, sure, first name, let me see what I can find for you on that, give it those 3 little dots that bounce, just showing it that it's kind of typing or what have you, and then come back a second later with, I found this, and I think that it's going to solve your problems, and there's the guide. Well, now the user has still got the guide. They've just gotten a sentence right before it that was personalized so that it was using their first name to make them feel like they're actually being listened to. And then it delivered the guide with I think you'll find your answers in this. Have a read and let me know what you think. And now you've used an information bot to be conversational without going overboard.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose if people are using, because obviously there's different uses for the bots, but if someone is using it from an online marketing point of view and they are potentially selling things through the bot, just like any funnel. And I can't remember the statistics. I'll ask you for the statistics when you were talking about upsells and different upsells. Right. When you have a particular product, if you're actually doing it through a conversational standpoint, the ability to supply extra value to that person, where they've got the perception that you're literally supplying them extra value, but it's other products that could be benefited for them rather than just giving them this one informational, look, this should do what you want it. Can you just touch on that again and the power of, from a profit standpoint, if someone is doing it from a marketing perspective, on the ability to have those upsells and create more value?
Yeah, definitely. And so like you say, that having the upsell, again, there's 2 extremes in the online marketing world, and there's those that simply just try and push their products out there, and they're just constantly hitting people, and they're not necessarily giving, they're just asking. They're like, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. So they're just flooding it out there. And upsells are great, but when you're not doing it in a caring manner where you're saying, I think that you would gain value from this, here's what it does, da-da-da-da-da, you would, just like other people, experience a thing, then that's more conversational. And so we see that in the email sequences between the marketers that do well and the marketers that don't. And you get those emails, and Paul Brunson, the creator of ClickFunnels, he's kind of quite famous for his different funnels and that, and he describes them as the Seinfeld emails. And so I don't know if that he necessarily come up with that, or it might have been Dan Kennedy or one of these other old-time greats from even pre the internet, but they call it the Daily Seinfeld, where it's more the story that's warming you up for the upsell. Now, if you had that built into the bot, the user, instead of coming to your bot, getting it and seeing it simply being delivered and going, oh, okay, there's my product, do I or don't I want to click on it? The conversion rate is going to be a whole lot lower because you're leaving them with a choice now. Whereas if you were to deliver a bit of conversational content where you can connect with them, and it's all about connecting and that emotional connection and psychological connection. If you can make your customer feel a connection with you through your bot because of the way that you responded to them, the way you spoke to them, the way you used their first name, even just down to little pleasantries and the language that you use when you type your sentence, they always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that is just so true, that what you'll see is the conversion rates on your upsells is then going to skyrocket compared to if you were simply just presenting it, as opposed to actually showing them why they would want it. And you're only going to be able to do that through a conversational method.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just that it's the constant adding value, or the perception of constant adding value, and just understanding the people that are on the bot better. And then the thing is, the longer you have a bot and the more interactions there are with a bot, the more, I suppose, experience and the more you know what someone's outcome is going to be. Like, so someone buys a particular product and then 70% of people that buy that product also get this product. you're going to start to know from a percentage standpoint what that type of person likes. So therefore you can start to customize the bot accordingly, which gives you the perception that you're adding greater and greater value to that person.
Right, exactly. And it's simply coming down to that, like you said, giving value, that it's a matter of getting the customer. If you want your customer to buy your product, you've got to recognize that you're sitting there on the wrong side of the fence because you're trying to get them to buy. What you need to get them to do is to get to that perception in their own mind where they might be handing over money, but they realize that what they're doing is that you're giving to them. The reason they're handing the money over is because of what you're giving to them, not because of what they're getting from it necessarily, that they see the value in what you're giving, not the value in what they're losing. Because there's always that equation between, is what I'm going to get from you worth the money that you're asking me to give up? And they're faced with that dilemma of, I've got to hand over my money. Now, if I give that away, I don't have any more of it, or I've got to try and make more of it. So is what you've got more valuable than what I've got? And it's presenting the value in what you've got. And like you said, Andrew, that's going to come through in the more conversations you have with the bot and the more analysis you can make by checking through your answers, the better you're going to be able to tweak it so that you are delivering that value and expressing the value of your product to the point where that you're going to transition the customer across to seeing that them parting with their money is a small price to pay for the value that they're going to get from you in what you're giving to them. And that's definitely one of the key aspects that you got to do, whether you're on a bot, whether you're on the stage, or whether you're on a website. It's transitioning the customer to recognize the value that they're getting.
100%. Value and benefits. Awesome, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll wrap it up for another episode, and that was awesome. I think we've delivered some great value for everyone. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense for everyone of what you want to start to be doing, what you're going to be looking for in the bots, and also the analysis you sort of need to do. Once you have a bot, it's not just up and running. You want to start to analyze it so you can constantly make it better and better and better, just like anything else. So,
right, and I think just as a finishing touch, if you don't mind me jumping in there, Andrew, is ask. Simply ask. That's the best thing to do, is put as part of your funnel sequence a questionnaire in there, and that's what I'd suggest is between the lead magnet and your upsell. So you're giving content away for free in the form of your lead magnet. Before you even ask them for the upsell of the product, go through a series of questions where you're actually creating user attributes. So you're asking a question, getting them to respond with answers, and based on their answers, you can lead them through a funnel to the end point being, based on what you've told me, I think this product would really help you because it's going to solve X, Y, Z. So by having them gone through that process, they've pre-qualified themselves with their own answers. And you've also now received a whole bunch of good quality answers out of each customer that you can gradually compile that, and that's your copywriting and your content for future bot information.
Yeah, awesome. Huge value. That's critically important right there. A whole bunch of different funnels you can have just from those questions.
Yeah, exactly. Just ask.
Yeah, it's not hard, is it?
That's it. It's simple. It's just ask them.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome, man. Love it. So we'll wrap up here for another episode. Again, guys, we greatly appreciate everyone jumping on and listening. Please jump on iTunes, rate, review. It means the world to us. The more rates and review we get, the more people this is going to touch and the more impact we can have. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode. See you, buddy.
All right, see you.
Thank you for listening. If you value your life, you won't keep this a secret. Subscribe, rate, and review, or we will find you.